Welcome back to Midday. We are down at St. Andrew's on the Square this afternoon in this beautiful church, beautiful surroundings with portrait artist and painter Mary Boudreau. It's lovely to be here with you.
Oh, thanks, Susan. It's good to be here with you too.
Well, thank you. The last time that we did a segment, we were sitting outside in the gardens talking about doing an outdoor shoot, and here we are inside because we've had a few changes in our thoughts, or I have.
Yes.
And so we have decided to take some of the architecture from this very beautiful building and incorporate it into our picture today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing I can say is it is really hard to make decisions that you think will be so simple to make. What are you going to wear? How are you going to wear your hair? Jewelry, outfit, the backdrop, the lighting, everything.
And what's the feeling, or is there a message or a narrative to the portrait as well?
Right.
And is it kind of timeless so that 20 years from now you'll still be enjoying looking at it instead of going, oh, why did I wear that?
I know.
So,
and I will say I chose about 5 or 6 outfits, and then I showed them to Mary, and you were first to say, don't bring that black ruffled one. And you know what, you're right, because you want something that's going to be timeless so that when your children look at it, or your grandchildren, they're not going to, that won't be the feature that they think, what was that top all about? You want something that's classic, that transcends the times.
yeah. For this particular portrait.
For this portrait anyway,
Yeah.
you're right,
Yeah.
yeah. So how is this going to go? Today is the photo shoot, I know, but I haven't really done this before.
Okay. Well, as you say, we've sorted out the wardrobe and the makeup and the look and your hair. So what I had to do was, once we decided we were going to do the portrait inside, it's like, okay, what are the windows? What kind of light's coming through them? They're painted glass. Stained glass, I should say, and it's a big open room. It's got a yellow cast to it, so I have to think of the lighting considerations. I have to think of the things that you want this portrait to say. You said you wanted warm and friendly, so I had to come up with an arrangement for soft and warm lighting that will accentuate what you are wanting to portray of yourself.
Nice, and warm and friendly is definitely right. And one of the things you were asking me is why have a portrait done? Like, why does a person do this? And for me, I don't see myself necessarily hanging this over my mantle, but I would like to have it for my children, and I'd like my children to have it for their children. And as you mentioned, portraits don't fade. When you have something painted, it lasts over the decades.
Or centuries.
Or centuries. Can
Yes.
you imagine in 2 centuries this picture being dug up from somebody's attic, right? You have to think about it that
There
way.
you go.
Yeah.
This is my 5 greats, Grandma Susan, right?
That's right. Wasn't she warm and friendly looking?
There you go. There you
So
go.
we're going to sit down and we're going to take some pictures. Tell me how this is going to go. Will we take a few and then I change outfits, or how does that go?
Yeah, we will do that. We'll start with some sitting poses because I have a little thing I'd like to do at the end that might mess up your hair, so we'll leave that for the last.
Sounds fun.
So we'll do some sitting, some standing, and and change in between.
Excellent. And I'm open to whatever you think, because you know what, you have the experience, you know what looks good, and what, to try fun things or crazy things, I'm good with that. Like, I'm
Okay.
open to whatever you think might make a good image.
Yeah, and what often happens in these sittings is we both have an idea of what we want to achieve, and then something happens, some little magical thing happens during the shoot, and it'll go off in another direction, but it often ends up being better than what we conceived. So as long as you're open to that, then we'll just see where it goes. Looks really nice.
Thank you. This is very refined.
Very nice. Beautiful. Wow. That's better. Nice. When you're turning from that way, yeah. Beautiful. So if you have some improvisational movements, gestures, looks that just let her rip. But do it slowly because the flash has to recycle before I can take another shot.
Yep. Yep. Yes.
Okay, well, we'll...
But what do you think? Like,
No.
did you ever think it was going to be like this? Like, hey.
Well, that's what I mean. You set up an idea, and
I know.
then something happens, right? And
Mary, I'm shocked at how quickly that went. That was fast, and it was easy.
good.
It
I'm
really
glad
felt
you,
good.
Glad you felt that way. Yeah, it only takes about 40 minutes, an hour for the whole thing. You know, set up and figure out the clothes, the last finishing touches on the lighting, and away you go. And you just yeah, do a few shots, do a few poses.
There's always things to consider though, but I think for us, when you stop and you actually take a look at some of the shots, if you feel good about what's there, there's almost no need to go on if you know there's a couple of shots in there that you absolutely would be happy to have painted.
That's right, yeah, and you can see that right there. And I get a feeling with it too. It's like, okay, I know I've got the material I can work with. They're sharp, they're well exposed, the person's expression looks natural, or it's what they wanted to portray.
Okay.
So yeah, we're good to go.
Do you think we captured warm and friendly today?
I do, yeah.
Good, I feel like we did too, and I think the colors in here are beautiful, but people should keep in mind if this is something they want to do, it doesn't have to take up a bunch of time. Like it can be a 1 hour thing, and then off you go to paint it, and that's what you do while the other person is pretty much done.
Yeah, the other person's done, and yeah, it's a short period of time which fits in with the lives of busy people, because a lot of people who get portraits are professionals and they don't have hours. They have maybe 1 hour, so it works out. And what we do next from here is I will send you some email versions of your portraits, and you can pick the 1 or 2 that we can work with. You might like your hands in this one and your hair in that one and your expression in another one. It may work out like that, or it may be it's all in one shot. And you let me know what your choice is, and then we talk about the size of what the painting will be.
Okay.
And then I will prepare a sketch or drawing, and you approve it before we move forward.
Fun. This has been a really great experience. It's been very positive, so thank you for having me here today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all transpires and how it turns out.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. All right. If you are interested in getting a portrait done, whether it be of yourself, a family member, a pet even. Do you do pets?
Sure.
She does pets. Information's on the screen right now. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
Shine bright like a diamond. Fine light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star.